First of all, you know, it's great to have you here. You won more awards than I won.
No, I didn't.
No, you won it 4 times, man. It's brilliant. But you know, your work has been very, very influential and inspirational. Some of the things I wanted to ask is, obviously, what brought you into hairdressing, and you know, how did it start?
My passion was in clothing, because I grew up as a mini dry cleaner. My dad was a dry cleaner, an immigrant from Cyprus. So from 5 years old, I was, you know, basically playing with clothes, and got a real passion for fashion in clothes and for cloth. Yeah. You know, because I was dry cleaning, I was pressing. I mean, I couldn't even reach, but I was loving it.
That almost guides me on how your style is so distinctive.
For me, hair is cloth.
Yeah.
I mean, people think that hair is like an organ or something, or a limb. It isn't. It's cloth. Yeah. It's a hat, a furry, hairy hat. Yeah. That's for me.
Tell me, you've got a real signature in your work, you know. Tell me about it.
I get my inspiration from different things at different times. Yeah. Sometimes it will be from pushing the lines of geometry, which then it comes from technique. Yeah. So my inspiration will be, how can I create this shape to be an anti-structure? Yeah. How can I get it to actually stand up? Where is this precision important? Can I make this the best line it could ever be? So a lot of the time I'm inspired by the actual creation, but then other times it'll be the opposite of that, and it'll be about actually where I'm really inspired from, which is my objectives. And what really drives me is understanding human progression and where it's going. Yeah. And what people's needs, desires, objectives are.
Well, we were raised to make the client happy. We're in the service business. Yeah. It was about really
we are
talking
servants
to them,
to
making
the industry,
them feel great. And
to the public, we're servants to the public. And I think that's where I have seen my role in our industry, to come at it from a different angle, to just wake hairdressers up, to come from away from their training and their direction they've been led in, to think for themselves. So we have different aspects and different views, so we have a much broader sense of what hair dressing is.
We love to learn. Yeah. You know, I think when you're not learning, you're bored.
When you're not learning, you're dying.
You know, absolutely. I think.
And I also realise that about my staff. If they're not learning, if they're not progressing half an inch at least a day, if not a mile, they're leaving.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that inspires me in everything. I'd rather not know something and learn than think I know something and keep trying to confirm it. Yeah.
How are you going to move this on? You know, because you've got everything in your hands now. You've got the salons, you've got the schools, you've got the shows, you do the awards, you win them all, and it's fantastic, you know. But where do you go now?
There's a lot lacking in the social upbringing of youngsters, let alone of hairdressers, that us as an industry can potentially still uphold and help them with. But you know, down to your advice, my son is now working at Hob.
Good.
He's really developing, because he was quite shy. I've got a younger son who's 14 and a half, who's got a clientele at school. You know, he's a barber, and I've taught him, well, I've tried to teach him some layering, but the fade you get off of YouTube, right? Getting him to come into the academy to learn is like murder. He's saying, you know, well, Dad, I can get it off of YouTube, I can do it. You know what? Get on with it. And when you're ready, come and ask me.
That's fantastic. Our industry is one of the only things that a computer can't do.
Well, I had a row with somebody the other day, actually, you can get a haircut by internet.
You do it yourself?
No. Yeah. Look at what's on social media now with all the women who have long hair. Yeah. So actually, you're not getting a haircut, but you're not getting a haircut because of social media. Yeah. And this is what really interests me, because I've always worried, right, what the future of our industry was. Because if you go back to the 17th century or the 15th century or 1960, when hair was very intricate, and then it became, instead of the wash, shampoo and set, and Marcel finger, it became a cut and blow. Yeah. And then it became a wash and wear. And then it became, you know what, soon it's going to be a ponytail, right? So I always figured that ultimately we would get to the point where all men would have a crop, potentially, and all women would have a ponytail, like Gattaca. I think we need to expand our industry into fashion, into psychology, into humans, into people, into understanding what we actually do, what is our role as hairdressers. I think we're getting further along that line. you know, in the 50s and 60s, we were people that fuffed people's hair around and made them, you know, look...
In America, we're all going around like that.
Yeah, exactly that.
But
and now we play a bigger role in that. But we do need to find a new role, I think, for us in hairdressing. I think things are really, really changing. And I'm looking forward to hopefully being part of that.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.